The door burst open. 3 masked men shouted for everyone to lie down. A man in a corner booth tried to call 911. A gun smashed his phone. Layla ducked behind the counter, heart slamming in her throat. Then she heard it, a small whimper from under table 6. She crawled low and found a little girl clutching a stuffed bear, eyes wide with terror. "It's okay, sweetheart," Layla whispered. "We're playing hide and seek, okay?" The girl nodded, trembling. The men yelled again, demanding to know where the boss's kid was. Realization hit Layla like a punch. This child was who they wanted. 1,000 reasons to stay down screamed in her head. One reason to run silenced them all. Layla grabbed the girl's hand and darted toward the kitchen door. Pots clattered, steam hissed, and bullets cracked against tile. She shoved through the back exit, cold wind slicing her face, and sprinted into an alley slick with rain. Behind her, footsteps pounded. She turned corner after corner until breath and courage both burned out. The girl sobbed, "I want my daddy." Layla crouched, shielding her. "He's looking for you, I promise." Headlights appeared at the far end of the street, another SUV, but tinted, disciplined. She felt more trapped than saved. The vehicle slowed, driver's window lowering. A man stepped into the rain, tall, sharp in a dark coat, silhouette framed by the glare. His voice was low and certain. "Give me the child." Layla froze. "Who are you?" He moved closer, and the girl suddenly broke from Layla's arms, running to him crying, "Daddy!" The man fell to his knees, gathering her like a man starved for air. Layla just stared, the famous face she'd seen once in a newspaper headline. Marco DeLuca, construction tycoon accused of mob ties. She just saved the devil's daughter. When his soldiers spilled out of the car, guns drawn, Layla panicked. "I didn't hurt her. They were shooting." Marco stood, water dripping from his hair, eyes unreadable. "You ran into crossfire for her. I couldn't let them take her." He looked past her at the alley mouth, where sirens wailed closer. With a curt gesture, he ordered his men to disarm the kidnappers chasing them. Then he turned back to her, tone softer than she expected. "You have courage I haven't seen in a long time," he said. "What's your name?" "Layla Monroe." "Layla Monroe," he repeated as if testing the syllables. "Tonight you changed more than one life." The flood of adrenaline ebbed, and Layla's knees trembled. She realized she was still gripping the little bear. Marco noticed, reaching for his daughter's tiny hand. "Keep it," Sophia said shyly. "It's for brave people." Layla almost smiled, until flashing police lights painted the rain red and blue. Cameras would follow, reporters would invent stories, and somewhere the men who ordered the kidnapping would learn there had been a waitress who outsmarted them. As Marco guided his daughter into the SUV, he looked back at Layla once more. "You'll be hearing from me." Then he was gone, leaving her in the downpour, the stuffed bear pressed against her chest, thunder rolling like a warning that her life had just split in two. She stumbled home soaked to the bone, replaying the night in disbelief. She'd been invisible her whole life. Now the most dangerous man in the city knew her name. That night, her phone buzzed with a number she didn't recognize. A message glowed on the crack screen. "Asterisk, you're safe, for now. Stay home. Don't talk to anyone. Asterisk." Her pulse steadied for the first time in hours. She didn't know whether the message was protection or threat. Either way, she already felt the consequences closing in around her. Outside, thunder merged with sirens. Somewhere across the city, the men who failed their mission received punishment no one would witness. And in the chaos between those two worlds, a poor waitress and a Mafia heir, fate tightened its grip, ready to twist their lives together again. If you felt Layla's fear and bravery in this moment, hit the like button. It helps more people find stories of courage in impossible places. Share what you would have done if you saw a child in that danger, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next, because her act of mercy has just drawn her into a storm no one escapes untouched. Morning light barely reached through the hazy windows of Layla's apartment. She sat on her couch wrapped in a blanket, the stuffed bear balanced on her lap, trying to make sense of the night. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard the gunfire again, saw the child's terrified eyes staring up at her. A knock rattled the door. Her stomach dropped. She hadn't told anyone where she lived. "Who is it?" she called, voice cracking. "Detective Nash, NYPD." Two plainclothes officers stood outside. They asked about the diner, her role, the child. Layla told the truth. Well, most of it. When she mentioned the second SUV, the older detective's eyebrows pinched together. "The DeLucas picked you up?" he asked quietly. "I didn't know who they were until she called him Daddy. That family doesn't like witnesses." He handed her a card. "Try to stay out of sight, Ms. Monroe. We'll be in touch." After they left, she locked the door twice. She tried to breathe, but dread kept coiling tighter. By afternoon, her phone rang again. No caller ID. "You opened the door for police," a calm male voice said. "Who is this?" "Relax. It's Marco DeLuca. My men are watching the building. You're safe." "Is that supposed to comfort me?" she snapped. "You think I should feel safe knowing the Mafia's got me on babysitting duty?" There was a pause, then something unexpected in his tone. "If we meant you harm, you wouldn't be speaking. But you saved my daughter, and that makes you under my protection." "I didn't do it for you." "I know," he said quietly. "That's why it matters." He asked to meet in daylight, somewhere public. Against all logic, she agreed, partly because she needed to see Sophia alive. They met at a small riverfront cafe the next morning. Marco wore a gray coat, plain enough to pass for an ordinary businessman, though everyone in the cafe still looked up when he entered. Sophia ran to Layla before security could react, hugging her with tiny arms. "Daddy says you're my hero." Layla smiled shakily. "You're very brave yourself." Marco studied her across the table. She hasn't slept since the kidnapping. When she finally closes her eyes, she dreams you're still there. He pushed an envelope toward her. "Expenses while we handle the fallout." "I'm not taking your money. You misunderstand." His voice didn't rise, but the air felt heavier. "This isn't payment. It's insurance. The men who tried to take her know your face. They'll want to fix their mistake." Her fingers froze around the coffee cup. "So you're saying I'm marked? I'm saying you're valuable, alive." That line chilled her more than the winter wind outside. From the corner of her eye, she saw Sophia playing with sugar packets, humming, "Safe for now." Layla leaned forward. "I don't want your world anywhere near mine." "Then move, with the protection we offer," Marco said. "Or you can trust cops who call reporters before backup." She hated that he was right. Late that afternoon, she returned home to find the diner's manager waiting by her door. He looked furious. "You know how much trouble your little stunt caused? Cameras everywhere, cops asking questions. We're closed for cleaning." "I didn't ask to be attacked," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. He shoved an envelope into her hand anyway. "Termination notice and last paycheck. We can't have that kind of attention. Good luck, kid." The hallway went quiet after he left, silent except for her own uneven breathing. Minutes later her phone buzzed. Another unknown message. Asterisk, pack a small bag. 10 minutes. Asterisk. She hesitated, then heard the distant hum of engines below her window. Two dark sedans idled by the curb. Men in suits stepped out, scanning the rooftops. 10 minutes later she was sitting in the back of one of those cars, heart pounding, the city sliding past like a fading dream. Marco hadn't lied. His world moved fast. An hour later they passed a security gate that opened onto land so wide it looked unreal. The mansion stood ahead, white stone gleaming under clouded sun. It was quiet, not the peace of safety, but the precision of soldiers pretending to be gardeners. Marco met her at the entrance, hands clasped behind his back. "Welcome to somewhere you can breathe." "Feels more like a cage," she muttered. "Sometimes cages keep wolves out," he said. Sophia came running down the marble stairs shouting her name. Layla knelt automatically, catching the girl in a hug. For the first time since the diner, warmth reached through her fear. But as Marco watched them from the grand staircase, His lieutenant leaned close to whisper something. Marco's eyes narrowed at whatever he heard. Layla caught just 3 words. "They're tracing her." Her spine went cold again. Whoever had sent those masked men hadn't finished their hunt. So began her first night inside a fortress run by a man torn between gratitude and secrets, with danger tightening from the outside. If you can feel the tension between mercy and fear building in Layla's new reality, give this story a thumbs up. It tells the algorithm that kindness in chaos matters. Comment what you think Marco whispered to his lieutenant in that moment, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next part, where the woman who saved a child discovers just how perilous being protected by the Mafia can be. Rain turned to a fine mist as evening fell over the DeLuca estate. Layla stood at her new bedroom window, looking out on the driveway's glistening curve. Guards paced with quiet precision, men moving like shadows through the arc of bright security lights. The house hummed with silence that carried a different kind of threat, power pretending to be peace. 2 days had passed since she arrived. Every morning a maid brought breakfast, every evening another brought dinner. Apart from Sophia, no one really spoke to her. She tried helping in the kitchen to earn her keep, but the staff refused. "Mr. DeLuca said you're a guest," the housekeeper muttered in a tone that meant untouchable. Still, Layla couldn't simply sit still. When she heard Sophia crying one afternoon, she followed the sound down the long marble hallway. The girl sat in a nursery big enough for 3 apartments, a sketchbook ripped in front of her. "Hey," Layla said gently, kneeling. "That page looked fine to me." Sophia sniffled. "It's not a mermaid. Daddy says mermaids can't be sad." Layla smiled and picked up a crayon. "Then it's a tired mermaid. Everyone's tired sometimes." Together they colored in silence until laughter replaced tears. Behind them a voice said, "You have a gift." Layla turned. Marco stood by the doorway, one hand resting on the frame. For the first time she saw him without the armor of suits or guards, just a father watching his daughter. "She reminds me of my mom," Sophia said. "She used to draw with me too." Marco's gaze softened. "You should finish your picture, Mia Stella. Dinner soon." He waited for the girl to leave before stepping fully into the room. "How are they treating you?" he asked quietly. "I'm not sure what this even is," Layla replied. "Am I a guest, a prisoner, or just someone you need to keep alive until reporters forget?" He crossed to the window. "My line of work creates debts that can't be settled with money. What you did rewrote one of them. Saving a child shouldn't make me part of any debt," she said. Something dark flickered in his expression. "In my world, everything has weight. Gratitude, fear, even mercy." She folded her arms. "You sound like a man who doesn't know how to say thank you." He almost smiled. "You'd be right." Dinner that evening unfolded beneath a chandelier bright enough to expose every secret thought. At the long table sat Marco, Sophia, his chief lieutenant Carlo, and Layla, the accidental guest. The food was perfect, the atmosphere brittle. Carlo's eyes stayed on her too long, assessing. "So this is the girl from the diner," he said finally, his voice oiled in false civility. Layla forced a polite nod. "Yes, sir. Bravery can be mistaken for luck. Either way, the boss owes you. You should enjoy it while it lasts." "Enough, Carlo," Marco said quietly, but the chill in his tone froze the room. Sophia giggled to break the tension. "Layla, tell Daddy about the mermaid." Layla smiled at the child, grateful for the distraction. "We finished her picture. She's tired but still swimming." Marco looked between them for a moment. "That's a good lesson, isn't it?" he murmured, as if speaking to himself. After dinner, he walked her to the hallway. "Carlo can be blunt," he said. "Ignore him. Is he the one watching me too? Everyone inside these walls watches everyone." He hesitated. "But you only need to fear what's outside." That night, Layla couldn't sleep. Wind battered the curtains. Downstairs, a phone rang, sharp and urgent. Footsteps followed, several pairs moving fast. She crept to the balcony overlooking the foyer. Marco was at the foot of the stairs, speaking in short commands while 2 men carried suitcases of equipment. They intercepted another message, Carlo said. Her pictures all over the dark net. Someone's selling information. Lock it down, Marco ordered. No one leaves. Layla stepped back before she was noticed, heart pounding. They're tracing her. The words she'd overheard earlier flickered back. Whatever storm she had run from, it was still coming. For a brief second she considered escaping while everyone was distracted. But the thought of leaving Sofia kept her rooted. At dawn, Sofia tiptoed into her room clutching the finished drawing. Daddy says we might go away for a few days, just to be safe, the girl whispered. Then we'll pack your crayons first, Layla said, forcing a smile. Later, as she helped fold the child's clothes, she saw a flash of black cars lining up outside again. More than before. Men loading weapons under the pretense of luggage. Something big was moving. That night, Marco knocked softly on her door. You can trust me to keep you safe, he said. His voice was low but his eyes restless, a man trying to believe his own promise. I hope so, she answered. Because every time you say that, the world outside seems louder. He didn't deny it. He only said, stay near Sofia. Whatever you hear tonight, don't come out of her room. Then he closed the door, leaving her alone with questions that burned hotter than fear. Downstairs, engines started. The estate lights dimmed to red emergency glow. Layla held Sofia close as the first distant blast echoed from beyond the gate. Not thunder this time, but gunfire rolling like a storm she'd never wanted to face again. If this unfolding tension gripped you, tap that like button right now. It tells the algorithm to share stories that reveal courage hiding inside ordinary people. Drop a comment. Should Layla try to run or trust the man who swears he can keep her safe? And make sure you're subscribed. What happens when the battle reaches their doors will shatter everything she thought she knew about power, loyalty, and love. The night erupted in chaos. Red lights strobed across the courtyard as shouts and gunfire echoed through the iron gates. Inside the mansion, Layla held Sofia tightly under the thick blanket in the corner of the nursery. Every distant bang made the child flinch harder. Marco's men moved with brutal precision. Orders in Italian crackled through earpieces, boots thundered across marble floors, and the smell of gunpowder rode the cold air each time a door opened downstairs. Is Daddy okay? Sofia whispered. Layla pressed her cheek against the girl's hair. He will be. Your dad's stronger than all the bad guys. She wasn't sure she believed it, but the words steadied both of them. Time blurred. 10 minutes, maybe 20, passed before the gunfire thinned into silence. A knock came, 2 short, 1 long. Marco's signal, they'd told her earlier. He stepped into the room, face smeared with grit and sweat, suit jacket ripped. Yet his eyes were steady as he knelt beside Sofia. It's over. You're safe, he said. Sofia clung to his neck, sobbing in relief. When he turned to Layla, his tone changed, soft but commanding. We have to leave. The main gate's compromised. Layla grabbed the child's coat and slung the small backpack over her shoulder. They moved through service corridors lit only by emergency lights. At each turn stood guards, weapons raised, eyes flicking from Layla to the boss. When they reached the garage, Marco gestured for her to climb into a black SUV already running. He slid in beside Sofia, speaking low to the driver. Get us out before the cops arrive. As the gate creaked open, Layla looked back at the mansion's blazing front entrance, illumination flickering off glass like lightning. What was that? She asked. Old rivals with new courage, Marco replied. Your picture gave them an excuse. They came for me? They came for what you changed in me, he said bitterly. Both are dangerous. They drove in silence through sleeping streets until they reached the outskirts of the city, where an abandoned factory yard opened like a wasteland. The car stopped. Why are we here? Layla asked cautiously. To switch vehicles, Marco said. Every camera in the city just watched mine leave the house. Another car waited, smaller and unmarked. Marco transferred Sofia first, then turned to Layla. You'll stay at one of my safe houses until this cleans up. I'm not leaving Sofia. He studied her for a long moment. You would die for a child who isn't yours? I already almost did, she said. He nodded slowly, almost respectfully. Then you'll stay with us. They reached the safe house, a modest country cottage that looked nothing like the opulence she'd expected. Inside, there were simple wooden floors, a few paintings, and a faint smell of cedar. Marco checked every window himself before sitting across from her at the kitchen table. You really think you can keep your daughter safe in this life? Layla asked finally. He rubbed tired eyes. I've been asking myself that since the day she was born. For the first time, she saw not the crime lord, not the billionaire empire, but a father completely undone by love and regret. I used to think fear kept people alive, he said quietly. But it only kills them slower. Outside, wind rattled the fence. A dog barked somewhere in the distance. Sophia had fallen asleep on the couch, clutching her stuffed bear. Layla wrapped a blanket around her shoulders, feeling something she hadn't since the diner night. A faint, impossible calm. When she turned back, Marco was watching her. You don't belong in my world, Layla, but somehow it's the only reason it's still worth saving. The words hung between them, neither invitation nor farewell. Hours later, as dawn stretched pale gold across the horizon, Layla woke to the murmur of Marco's voice in the next room. She edged closer and heard him on the phone, tired and restrained. She stays under my protection, he said. If anyone touches her, it'll be treated as a move against me personally. A pause. Then his tone sharpened. I don't care about the council's opinion. This isn't business. It's debt of the soul. Debt of the soul. The phrase sent a chill through her. It wasn't gratitude. It was something deeper, more binding. He ended the call and turned. You should have been asleep. I heard enough, she admitted. What did you mean, debt of the soul? It means sometimes a man's past can only be redeemed by someone who never owed him anything, he said. Layla didn't answer. She only nodded, unsure whether redemption was possible in his line of work. Get some rest, he said softly. Tomorrow you'll help Sophia with her school lessons. Pretend for one day life is normal. When he left the room, she stood by the window again. Sunlight brushed her face, but below, near the road, she noticed two cars idling, unmarked, different from Marco's. Rival eyes were still watching. Safety, like peace, would be borrowed time. And in that fragile space, Layla would soon have to decide if saving one child could ever justify stepping deeper into the storm that surrounded her. If you're feeling the tension build and can sense how far Layla's courage has already taken her, press like right now. It shows the platform that stories about bravery matter. Tell me in the comments if you think her trust in Marco will save her or destroy her, and stay subscribed. The next events will change both their lives forever in ways neither of them sees coming. 3 quiet days passed at the safe house. The kind of uneasy calm that makes you whisper even when no one's asleep. Layla tried to build small pockets of normal. Making pancakes with Sophia, fixing the wobbly kitchen chair, sweeping the porch just to keep her mind from spiraling. The girl laughed again, faint but real. Every laugh felt like a small miracle after so much fear. Marco, however, never stopped moving. His phone rang at all hours. His men came and went like ghosts. Sometimes Layla heard his voice turn hard, the cadence of command slipping back into violence. Other times she'd catch him pausing in the doorway to watch Sophia breathe. Those moments wrecked him and healed him at the same time. On the 4th night, a storm rolled through. Thunder growled like engines overhead. Half asleep on the couch, Layla heard Marco arguing in the study. She shouldn't be here, Carlo's voice said. Every rival wants to use her now. Send her away, boss. She stays, Marco replied. She's a liability. She's family. Silence. Then the sound of Carlo's boots walking out, the door slamming. Layla stayed frozen, pretending to sleep, the word family echoing in her chest. It frightened her more than comforted her. Family is permanent, and permanency in his world could mean graves as easily as warmth. The next morning the sky cleared and birds returned to the trees. Marco suggested a walk along the river, guards trailing far behind to give Sophia the illusion of freedom. It almost felt normal, Sophia tossing stones. Layla teaching her how to spot minnows in the shallows. Marco walked beside them, hands buried in his coat pockets. "When I was a kid," he said quietly, "my father used to bring me here. He said the river remembers every secret we try to drown." "That sounds poetic," Layla said. "It's a curse disguised as philosophy," he answered. "Everything comes back eventually." She wanted to ask what secrets he was thinking of, but stopped herself. The lines around his mouth already told her they weren't gentle ones. Later, back at the house, Sophia dozed off drawing another bright sea creature, this time a dolphin. Layla found Marco outside on the porch watching the horizon. "You used to be a waitress," he said. "It wasn't a question." "Two of them, actually," she replied. "Mornings one place, nights another. Hard life. Harder things happen to people every day." He looked at her steadily. "You talk like someone who's used to starting over." "Starting over's easy when you never had much to lose." He nodded slowly. "That's what scares me about you. People with nothing to lose aren't afraid of monsters like me." "Maybe that's why you needed someone like me around your daughter," she said. "I'm not playing by your rules." Something in his expression shifted, a flicker of admiration mixed with warning. "Be careful saying that out loud, Layla. The world that obeys me listens even when I whisper." Before she could answer, the sound of an approaching engine cut through the quiet. Two dark sedans sped up the dirt road, tires throwing gravel. Marco stepped forward instantly, barking an order into his radio. Guards poured out of nowhere, weapons drawn. "Get Sophia inside," he told Layla. His voice left no room for argument. Layla snatched the sleeping child from the couch and ran upstairs just as the first shots cracked the air. She laid Sophia in the panic room behind the wardrobe and sealed the door. Beneath the floor, muffled violence rumbled. Minutes crawled. Then a voice through the intercom. "It's me. Open up." She hesitated till she recognized Marco's tone, strained but alive. He stepped in, blood on his sleeve. "They hit the escort convoy," he said between breaths. "Someone sold our location." "Was it Carlo?" He didn't answer. The silence was enough. Sophia clung to his leg. He lifted her gently. "We're getting on a plane tonight." "Where to?" "Out of the country if we can make it," he said. "But I need you to do something first." He handed Layla a small flash drive, metal scratched from long use. "Everything that matters is on that. If I'm caught, if anything happens, take this to a journalist named Avery Ross in New York. She'll know." Layla stared at it. "You're trusting me with your secrets?" He gave a short laugh. "I'm trusting the woman who ran into a hail of bullets for a stranger's child." "Why are you doing this?" "Because power built on lies always falls. Maybe someone honest should decide where it lands." Before she could respond, another burst of gunfire shattered windows downstairs. Marco shoved the flash drive into her pocket and yelled, "Go!" They split, him toward the stairs, Layla carrying Sophia toward the hidden back exit that led to the garage tunnel. Smoke filled the hallway, alarms shrieking. Outside, engines roared again as guards exchanged fire. At the tunnel door, she turned once more. Marco was at the top of the stairs, aiming at unseen attackers. Their eyes met through the chaos, his a silent command promising he'd follow. Then the overhead beam cracked apart, flames licking down the wall between them. She heard him shout her name, but the smoke swallowed the rest. She didn't stop running until wind hit her face and the tunnel opened to the cold night. Far behind, the safe house burned like a beacon. Rival engines wailed closer. There was no sign of Marco. Sophia's tiny voice trembled. "Will Daddy find us?" Layla held her tighter. "He always finds you." But her heart didn't believe it completely. Somewhere among the fire and the noise, a man who had once believed fear could save him was choosing what he'd die defending. If you felt the rush of this escape building, hit that like button so more people find these moments of courage and loyalty. Tell me in the comments whether you think Marco survived, and stay subscribed. What rises from those flames is going to rewrite everything they thought they knew about family. Cold air slapped Layla's face as she stumbled from the tunnel into what had once been a quiet country road. Sophia clutched her hand, coughing from smoke, eyes wide and wet. They ran until the woods swallowed them, branches whipping past, gunfire fading behind like a terrible memory refusing to die. When they finally stopped beside a half-frozen creek, Layla dropped to her knees, chest heaving. She pulled Sophia close, wrapping her in her jacket. Snow drifted down from black clouds like ash. The fire from the estate glowed faintly through the trees, a grim sunrise built of destruction. "Mama Layla," Sophia whispered, voice hoarse and small. "Where's Daddy?" Layla forced a breath. "He's finding a way to meet us. Promise. I promise." She didn't say the rest out loud. That promises don't always hold in a world like his. Using the faint light from her phone, she checked Marco's last message. A single word, sent 5 minutes earlier. *run. She shoved the phone into her pocket with the flash drive and scanned the road. An old farmhouse light blinked across the field. Safety or trap? There was no way to tell. Still, freezing to death wasn't an option. "Come on," she said, carrying Sophia toward the faint glow. Inside the farmhouse, a startled older woman peeked from behind lace curtains. "Lord, child, what happened to you?" Layla spun a quick story about a car accident, enough to soften the stranger's suspicion. The woman ushered them in, gave them blankets, hot soup, and the kind of motherly fussing Layla hadn't felt since her own mother died. Sophia fell asleep instantly, face finally peaceful. When Layla stepped outside to breathe, the woman followed. "You look like somebody running from ghosts," she said quietly. Layla managed a weak smile. "Something like that. Well, ghosts can't chase you if you keep walking toward the sunrise," the woman replied, pressing a small silver cross into Layla's palm. "For luck." Before dawn, they were on a Greyhound bus heading toward New York, Sophia sleeping against her side, the flash drive burning a hole in her coat pocket. Each passing mile felt heavier. Distance from safety, distance from Marco. At noon, while Sophia painted tiny smiley faces on the dirty window with condensation, Layla turned on the phone again. News alerts filled the screen. *criminal explosion marks end of DeLuca dynasty. Sources confirm Marco DeLuca presumed dead. Her hands shook. The world outside blurred. She bit her lip to hold in the sound that came anyway, an ugly raw sob that made people on the bus glance away. But then Sophia stirred, eyes flicking open. "Is Daddy okay?" Layla swallowed hard. "He's still finding us." It wasn't a lie, not completely. Somewhere deep inside, she refused to believe he was gone, not the man who held back firestorms with his bare hands. By the time they reached the city, snow turned to freezing rain. They stepped out at Port Authority surrounded by exhaustion and neon. Layla adjusted Sophia's coat and looked for signs, any direction that felt like purpose. The name Marco had given her, Avery Ross, echoed in her mind. An old diner on 45th Street carried that name painted above its door. Could it really be that simple? She hesitated before stepping inside. The bell over the door jingled. Behind the counter stood a silver-haired woman wiping glasses. "Help you, hon." "I'm looking for Avery Ross," Layla said. The woman's eyes flicked to the flash drive in Layla's hand and then to Sophia. "You'd better sit down. He always said someone brave would come one day." "He?" The woman smiled sadly. "Marco. He used to fund my printing press when he still thought truth could fix things." Layla's knees went weak. "He's alive." Avery hesitated. Alive, hiding, depending on whether you call living in the dark alive. Relief and grief twisted in her chest. "He told me to bring this to you." She handed over the flash drive. Avery plugged it into her old laptop, screens flickering to life. Lines of scanned documents filled the monitor. Records, bank statements, coded confessions. "This is a map of everyone who thought they owned this city," Avery murmured. "He planned to hand it to the feds, clean house for good." Layla stared. "Then why send it through me?" "Because only a stranger could carry it without corruption touching her." Avery looked up from the screen. "You, little waitress, are the last piece of his redemption." Layla felt dizzy. "He said it was a debt of the soul." "It still is," Avery said softly. And now it's yours too. That night, while Sophia slept curled in a booth, Avery showed her where to hide, whom to call, how to release the information when the time was right. Across town, a news anchor's voice repeated that Marco DeLuca had perished in the explosion. But somewhere in the city's underbelly, a man stepped from shadows wearing a borrowed coat and new name, watching footage of a young woman boarding a bus with a child in her arms. He set his jaw, whispering so low the night nearly swallowed it. Keep her safe, and maybe the ghosts stay quiet. Back in the diner, Layla looked out the rain-streaked window. The cross in her hand felt cold but solid, grounding her. For the first time since the diner shooting weeks ago, she wasn't running. She was beginning. If you felt this moment, the blend of loss, courage, and the faint spark of renewal, press the like button. It tells platforms that stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things belong at the top. Comment what you think Marco's next move will be now that the world believes he's dead, and keep yourself subscribed. The next act of their story turns survival into something bigger. Justice earned through love and the courage to finally tell the truth. 2 weeks later, the city's rhythm had become Layla's disguise. She worked mornings at Avery's diner, apron and anonymity hiding her from cameras. At night, she and Sophia slept in a rented room above, the hum of subway trains underlining their dreams. She told herself this was normal, or the closest she'd ever get. Every night she locked the door twice, kissed Sophia's forehead, and stared out at the maze of lights wondering if he was watching too. One windy evening, Avery clicked off the radio. "They're chasing ghosts again," she said. "News says some of the DeLuca union fronts are collapsing. Money's evaporating. Someone's pulling strings from the shadows." Layla didn't have to ask who. The thought brought comfort and fear in equal measure. Avery slid a folded newspaper toward her. The headline read, "Anonymous Files Expose Citywide Corruption Network." In the corner, a small note in code marked the page number 73. Avery tapped it. "I think he's telling you he's still out there." Layla's fingers trembled. Marco's signal. They'd agreed Avery would know. Her heart raced so fast she laughed nervously just to steady herself. "He's alive." "Alive," Avery said. "But that means every remaining rival's hunting for you too, even harder. The story made him a whistleblower, but to them you're still leverage." That night the knock came long after closing. 3 soft taps, then silence. Layla froze by the door, motioning Avery back. Through the peephole she saw no one. Then a small paper note slid under the door. Asterisk West Pier. Midnight. Alone. M. Asterisk. Her chest tightened. It had to be him. Or bait. Avery tried to stop her. "It smells like a trap, honey. I have to see him." At midnight she left Sophia asleep in Avery's care, heart hammering against her ribs as she walked empty streets toward the pier. The harbor air smelled of salt and rust, fog curling over the water. Every sound magnified, gulls, creaking boards, her own uneven breath. Then a figure stepped from the fog. Not armed men, just one man with a limp and a hood pulled low. When he lifted his head, she saw the eyes first, tired, dark, unmistakably alive. "Marco!" He smiled faintly. "You found the safest hiding place in the world. Serving coffee nobody asks questions about." She nearly hit him before she hugged him. "You let me think you were dead. I needed them to think the same." She pulled back, tears hot on her cheeks. "You sent those files. I promised you honesty. The truth had to come from you, not me." He looked thinner, haunted but still anchored by the same calm authority. "I came to say goodbye properly," he said. "The feds are taking what's left of my accounts. I can walk free only if I disappear for good. You and Sophia have a clean name now. Take it." She shook her head. "You think I want clean if it means never seeing you again?" His voice roughened. "Layla, everything good near me burns. Then let it burn around us, not between us." For the first time she saw his control crack. He brushed his thumb across her cheek, the trace of a smile fighting its way through pain. "I thought mercy was weakness," he whispered. "Then a waitress proved me wrong." He handed her a small metal box. "Inside is the deed to the diner." Avery knew. "You'll never have to hide again." Feed people, love that kid, stay normal. That's how you win. Where will you go? Far enough to keep you free, but close enough to hear Sophia's laughter if the wind's right. Sirens wailed somewhere behind the warehouses. Maybe police, maybe worse. He stepped back toward the fog. Marco, she said, if you vanish now, what do I tell her? He smiled sadly. Tell her father learned what courage looks like. Then he was gone, swallowed by mist and the echo of bootsteps fading into the night. Layla stood there shaking, frozen between grief and peace. Finally, she opened the metal box. Inside, beneath the deed, lay a single folded napkin. Scrawled on it in blue ink, never let the world shame kindness again. She walked back through the sleeping city, dawn coloring the sky pale pink. At the diner, Avery was waiting with coffee and quiet understanding. Sophia stirred upstairs. Layla pressed the napkin to her heart, whispered, "He's safe," and believed, just for that minute, that maybe so were they. By sunrise, customers filled the booths, laughing over pancakes. Layla moved among them with a small, secret smile. She was once the girl who ran through a storm for a child she didn't know. Now she was the woman who carried two worlds inside one heartbeat. And somewhere beyond the skyline, a man watched unseen until he was sure they were safe, before walking away toward his own redemption. If this story is stirring you, tap that like button so more people find stories that turn violence into grace. Drop a comment about what you think true redemption costs, and subscribe, because new tales of courage, love, and the thin line between shadow and light are on the way. Morning light filled the diner through the big plate windows, turning the chrome and coffee pots golden. The breakfast rush had ended, and Layla leaned against the counter, watching Sophia draw hearts on napkins with a pink marker. Outside, snow dusted the city like new hope. Avery flipped through a newspaper, the corners of her mouth lifting. "They printed your name again," she said. "This time for good reasons." Layla frowned in disbelief. "Mine!" Front page of the Tribune. Hero waitress helps expose organized crime corruption. They're calling it the start of a cleaner city. Guess the truth finally outran the lies. Layla smiled faintly. He would have hated the attention. Avery chuckled. He'd have pretended to. Secretly, he'd be proud as sin. Sophia looked up from her drawing. "Do we have to move again?" Layla picked her up, settling her on her hip. "No, baby. We're home now." The bell above the door jingled. A man in a parka stepped in, face mostly hidden beneath a winter cap. He ordered coffee to go, voice calm and strange only because it carried familiarity she couldn't name. When he left, Avery found a folded receipt on the counter. Layla unfolded it. 3 words were written in blue ink, the same scrawl that once covered a napkin in the metal box. Still listening. "Breathe." She closed the paper carefully and tucked it into her apron pocket, hiding the tremor that wanted to turn into a smile. He was out there somewhere, watching without haunting, close enough to know she was okay. The day slid into routine again. Customers bantering, frying pans clattering, Sophia chasing cookie crumbs across the floor. Layla found peace in each motion. She thought of how many lives had crashed together to bring her here, a poor waitress, a broken father, a frightened child, and how kindness, traded for nothing, had turned chaos into quiet sanctuary. After closing, Avery locked up and dimmed the neon lights. "You staying upstairs tonight?" "Yeah. Sophia's got school in the morning." As Avery pulled on her coat, she said softly, "You know, not every miracle has to be loud. Some just walk you home." Then she winked and stepped into the cold. Layla wiped down the last table, lights from passing cars washing across the empty diner. She cleared Sophia's sketches and found one she hadn't seen before. A family, 3 stick figures holding hands under a bright sun. She traced each line with her finger and whispered to the quiet room, "Maybe someday." Upstairs, she tucked Sophia into bed. The girl hugged her tightly and mumbled, "I dreamed Daddy was smiling." "He probably is," Layla said, and meant it. Long after the child slept, Layla stood at the window. The city hummed below, relentless and alive. Somewhere in that pulse was the echo of a promise, to protect, to live better than the fear that created them. She breathed deep, finally free of running. Down on the street, headlights paused outside for a heartbeat before turning the corner. She didn't need to see the driver to know. The world still had dangerous men, but one of them had learned to shield instead of destroy. That was enough. The wind rattled the window gently, like a goodnight knock. Layla whispered into the darkness, "Goodbye, Marco. And thank you." She turned back to the small apartment filled with warmth, where fresh beginnings smelled like coffee and crayons. If this story gave you that spark, the feeling that courage and love can outlive even the darkest past, hit the like button so more people can find it. Share your thoughts in the comments. Does true change come from power or from compassion? And subscribe, because more stories of grit, redemption, and second chances are waiting just around the corner.
Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazier and more intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.